Hey, it's day 30. It's day 30, you guys. Day MF in 30. I started this challenge a month ago, and we are at the final day. Wow, what a journey. I'm going to share more about that experience in another video, but for now, let's finish this last day strong. All right, so the email we're looking at today is actually going to be a sales letter in an email. You can do that, believe it or not. You can. And BioTrust is a good example, right? So, this, for context, is a product geared towards older folk, I guess you could say. I guess if you consider 40s plus older folk, but people in their 40s and up on joint issues, right? So, we all, even if you're younger than that, I mean, if you're active, joint issues is a very real thing. It's a painful problem that we have. So they know who they're talking to, and let's break this down from the top. Okay. So never use glucosamine for joint issues unless. So that's the subject line. So this is the headline essentially of the sales page quote, right? It's a curiosity kind of lead, and let's take a look here. Um, right here, we've talked about levels of awareness before, so it depends on how problem aware they are, right? So problem aware would probably be you could, by the way, this isn't when I first started copywriting, like I thought like I like lived by this, like by the book, but that's the last thing you want to do. It's just a general framework. You can always tweak the rules. There are no rules in copy. My first copywriting coach told me that like really are no rules. It's just conversions. There are only conversions. So there are no rules in copy. There are only conversions. Just remember that. That being said, this is a good framework to start with and then tweak it based on your specific situation and what you're selling, who you're talking to. So problem aware, benefits and anxiety. So problem solution lead or curiosity lead is what we're looking at, right? So a little bit of secrets, a little bit of the problem, right? They don't know of this exact solution. They're on this list. They know that this person or this company sells these kinds of things. Okay. So with that in mind, let's continue. So don't do these unless dot dot dot. So this might just be this is when you call out a common piece of advice. As you can see online, people the things that tend to get the most clicks that I see a lot is things that are polarizing, things that like call out common advice and going against it. And I'm starting to realize like how important building your brand around that is. It's going to be a little different obviously if you're a company versus like one person or with a small team, but the same elements apply, right? And that's what they're doing here. So, all right, let's get right into it. So, curiosity slash problem solution lead is what we're going to go with. So, hi, Dr. Jamie, MD here. Uh, I'm a dual board certified physician, so there's her credibility. An ER doctor who's dedicated my life to saving other people's lives and helping them overcome suffering. And the number one complaint I hear from patients in their 40s and up about what most ruins their quality of life and their happiness is joint issues. So this is like, this is where the lead starts and a little bit of credibility. And here's now some pain points. I'm talking about discomfort in your neck, back, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands, knees, ankles, and even feet. So if you're reading this, you're going to read that and be like, damn, one of these is probably going to be me. And she's specifically pointing out, she's going deeper into the problem. She didn't just stop at joint issues. Specificity is key in copywriting, right? And in marketing in general. For example, one patient of mine named Stephanie used to love jogging. When her joint flare ups started, though, she sadly had to quit this daily passion of hers. So, this is like the opposite of future pacing, right? Future pacing is when you're like, look at what your life can be in a year. It's pacing the future. I call this nightmare pacing, right? It's like a nightmare. It's like this is what could happen. You could stop running, you could stop doing jujitsu. You could, I'm a guy that trains a lot and I do a lot of jujitsu. If you're selling me something and I believe it can help me and it can help me do keep me healthier in jujitsu. And if you frame it like you will lose the ability to do jujitsu if you don't take care of this, then I will. I'm fucking. My ears are. I'm listening. What's up? What's up? Tell me more. Right. So now, when she looked in the mirror, she didn't like what she saw and suffered serious emotional issues because she no longer had a physical release for her pent up emotional energy. Another patient, Sean, told me that joint flare ups made me feel like an old grandpa at the young age of 56. I went from crawling around on the floor with my granddaughter a couple years ago to not being able to play with her much at all, and even struggled to get out of chairs. So more of this nightmare pacing and walk upstairs and when my flare-ups occurred. I'm sure you know how Stephanie and Sean feel, and I'll just sum it up here as Sean said it best. It's like having Tin Man joints. So this is a remember we talk about painting pleasurable pictures in their mind, right? That's from John Carlton. Or you can do paint pictures, and just in general is really what you want to be doing. You want to paint pictures in their mind, right? Word pictures, and this is a really good word picture. It's not pleasurable, but who wants to have Tin Man joints? So it's a simile, and it's powerful because it's you can think of that and be like, oh, that sounds terrible. You don't even need to watch The Wizard of Oz, right? Because it really is just the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz whose creaky joints immobilized him and made him walk like a stiff board. And it can feel like a personal prison for you because look, now he's going to go the writer is going to go into the pain points. Nothing makes you feel old, bullet it out, right? More than not being able to move around like you used to, right? Steals your freedom. Um, you're getting routine exercise is more difficult. Just walking is excruciating. It messes your sleep. um it often hurts your relationships, and you can't get intimate. So it's taking away your ability to have sex, to move physically, to like love your grandchildren or your children, right? It's just completely wrecking your life. Like, it's not just that it hurts. These are the deeper it's not it's not let's like how we talk about features and benefits. This is like uh surface level pain points, but deeper, layer deeper, layer deeper, layer deeper. It's like, what does that mean? Okay, how does that make me feel? How does that make me feel on a personal level, right? Not just at like the problem itself, but in the context of my life. How does that make me feel? And you're going deeper, and what are the things that it's stopping me from doing? It will stop me from doing, right? That's when you're getting into like really good copy that's emotionally driven, right? It's like, it's not just this, it's all these things that you're missing out on, and all these things that are harder. You're not even getting laid, bro. And what makes it even harder is the fear it's all just going to keep getting worse. Unfortunately, that's true if you do nothing to address the underlying causes. So again, the cost of inaction, it's very common in the copy we've been reading, right? It's very common. It works so well, and it's such a true, like, powerful psychological driver. It's so powerful. It's worked on me many times before because when you think about it, we only have so much time in life. We only have so much time, so much energy. So if you can save time, and if you know that you not taking action will mean you're missing out, you're losing all this time, you could invest in something um more beneficial to you, or you can use your time more wisely. And if you do nothing, you're gonna, whatever, there's these pain points, then you're gonna want to take action if you're like most people, right? So, however, the really good news is there's an easy way to address this underlying cause that most people never realize. So, here's the introduction of solution. So, actually, before we move on, I want to show you guys uh, two different styles of like sales page flows, right? This was how I first learned it, and then I'll show you guys a simplified version, but they both work. They're both the same idea, right? This is like a full sales page, right? The lead. This is from Copy Hour, by the way. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. But Derek Johansson runs a great program there, and he breaks this down very well. So this is like breaking down a sales page, right? The lead, Sometimes there's pattern interrupts, and then you have your headline, lead, body, copy, and then don't worry about that. So section two is the logic, the sales argument, right? Like why, like misconceptions. There's an opportunity. It really depends on how much they know of the problem, right? If they know of the problem and they know of solutions out there, you're going to call it myths and misconceptions. If they don't even know of the problem, you can come at it like with an urgent opportunity, right? A transitional creation story is going to be that intro, like, hi, I'm whatever, right? So, but here's the thing that this is, remember what I said at the beginning of the video, it's not one to one. So just look at this as a general framework. The product offer and then the close. Okay. Now let's look at an alternative. And this is the same concept. Your headline, your lead, you're introducing the solution, a new unique mechanism. So right here, it's not, this is a more simplified version, but it's not really talking about the sales logic and the sales argument, right? So it could be implied, but this is why this is much simpler. Um, but they all have elements of proof, breaking down the offer, the lead, right? The problem. So there's different ways of looking at it, and of course the CT at then. So I just want to share that because I'm going to go through, as I go through this, here's the introducing the solution. We had the lead up front, and then you'll see we're introducing the solution, but then they're going to go into that sales argument. That's why it's not one to one, right? So, however, the really good news is there's finally an easy way to address this underlying cause that most people never realize. You see, it's a 3-point breakdown that leads to joint issues. So picking apart the problem now, and they're teaching you. Remember, they're implanting beliefs before they're going to make any sort of sale. They're going to educate you. You need to consume the right nutrients that properly support the 3-part solution to this triple breakdown, which is to restore, protect, and lubricate your joints. I'm going to show you 3 exact nutrients and the best way to get them so you can support healthy and mobile joints in as little as 5 days. So now we're going to start the sales argument. First, though, it's important you know the 2 big problems causing unnecessary suffering. Here are the facts. So now they're going to go into some facts, right? 91 million adults struggle. That's 43% of adults with joint problems. It's higher for women. This is what causes Tin Man joints and all the physical and emotion. So what exactly causes Tin Man joints and all the physical and emotional problem it leads to? So, well, all the same negatives that lead to other health problems have a very negative impact on your joints, including being overweight, poor diet, unhealthy inflammation, age-related hormone changes, overuse and misuse of joints. Now, while I do recommend improving these areas, if we wait to fix these 5 issues, well, we know where all that waiting leads. So again, the great news is now there's a 3-part in one nutrient solution that can quickly help you restore, protect, and lubricate joints. So they're saying there's like a 3-part problem, and essentially there's a nutrient that solves all 3. So here's the hope, right? So they're saying there's this, and you can work on that, but there's something that directly fixes your problem, right? So they call that waiting if you just take the long way, right? Which you should, of course, be doing that. I mean, that's kind of my problem with like some just as an aside, some like health copy and stuff. Sometimes I'm like, huh, really? You sure about that one? But I don't know. Maybe they do have some big facts behind it. I'm sure it helps some people, but I mean, I'm sure they just can't like lie. If they're lying, they'll probably get sued quickly. So there's a lot of things you can't promise, right? Anyways, before we get to that, you need to know the other big problem causing such unnecessary suffering with Tin Man joints. Some joint supplements out there are flat out worthless. Worse still, a few bad apples may actually cause harm. I know these are bold statements, so here's 4 specific facts. So they're making a claim and they're going to prove it. And here are the things that you might have tried and why it doesn't work. That's what they're doing right now. What have you tried? They're picking out what you might have tried and what doesn't work, or what's out there and what doesn't work. Myths and misconceptions. That's part of the sales argument, right? Glucosamine and chondroitin, the most common nutrients supplements, are mediocre. So polarizing, calling it out, saying this doesn't work. And their placebo, right, show that in a well-controlled study, showed that supplementation with glucosamine and whatever was no better than placebo at reducing joint discomfort. So meta-analysis, now they're getting into all the science, right? I don't need to like read it all word for word just so this video isn't like 30 minutes long, but like I'm breaking down each part if it's longer. So they're just getting into the science and saying that, like, look, it didn't provoke, it's all placebo. Furthermore, if anyone did want to settle for mediocrity, they'd have to take a shit ton. So many people turn to, Tylenol and ibuprofen, but these are merely masks for some of the symptoms. They're not hitting the underlying problems, and taking too much of these things, this is true, like it's not good for your gut, basically. You don't want that. So widespread unethical practice is fairy dusting. That's when the right ingredient is as a supplement, but it's so little that it won't help you. So they do this to get you to buy the product. So they're saying you need a certain amount. So I'm sure you can guess they're gonna say ours isn't placebo, ours is healthy for you, and doesn't hurt your gut, and it's in as much as you need, right? It's gonna solve all these problems that people are dealing with, or things they've tried. This is how it's different. This is how it's gonna lead into their unique mechanism. They're setting it all up. Many joint supplements may actually cause harm because some supplement makers do zero independent testing of their products to ensure they're free of harmful contaminants. Furthermore, many contain GMOs, artificial ingredients, and other junk that can irritate your joint. Now, this begs the questions: what will help you? The key question: what will help you? So, there's specific ingredients. Here's the good news that address the 3-point breakdown or problem that lead to those 10 joints. However, to understand why they work so well, and notice how specific everything is, by the way. So again, they're just specific ingredients that they're going to call them out now. So, however, to understand why those important ingredients work so well, you need to know how the 3-point breakdown leads to joints. So they don't pull their punches here. They're really educating you. So that they're not just going to sell you something. It's not going to convert well if they're just like, buy our shit. It works. We promise. It's like they've heard that. They're being sold to thousands of times a day, right? So collagen decline. So how the 3-point breakdown. So collagen decline is one, right? And it's telling you exactly what that is, why you need it, and how when you get older, they have less collagen. And this is why you have Tin Man joints. And then the attack of enzymes. When joints are compromised, collagen degrading enzymes are known as MMPs, and 5-LOX run rampant, leading to even more rapid collagen and cartilage deterioration. Oh, okay, interesting. So, and the attack of the enzymes. So yeah, enzymes make things worse. They dry out. So essentially, you need this fluid. If you don't have this fluid, there's more friction between bones. You need the lubrication. So as cartilage deteriorates, you have less of the fluid. So there's a 3-point breakdown. Okay. So what has actually helped patients, Sean, and the people at the beginning, right? And what is my top recommendation? What's helped them? So we're going to hear about them again. What? I thought their life was terrible. Okay. So it's called joint 33X. So now look, we're in the product offer. We had the lead, we had the sales argument, the logic. Now we're in the product offer. We're going to go into those features, into those benefits, right? So it comes in a tiny, easy to swallow capsule. You just take it once, you feel it in as little as 5 days. So quick, simple, fast results, and it solves a specific, narrow problem. Notice it's not like, this thing is amazing for you and will heal everything. It's like, no, you have joint issues. Ow. You have joint issues, and here's what you're dealing with, and here's how it can. Here's what isn't working, and here's a specific solution to that problem, and here's the 3 point breakdown. Like it literally, they laid everything out for you, so you have almost no questions, right? So it gives you the three of the essential ingredients. That's because joint 33X gives you three essential ingredients your body needs to quickly address 3 point breakdown to help restore, protect, and lubricate your joints. This includes the UC2 to restore the collagen decline. The UC2 is a patented special, is a special patented source of type 2 collagen. So you'll see it's patented, which means if it's patented, it's unique in some sort of way, right? And this is, adjacent to the unique mechanism, right? How is this different than what's out there right now? It works very differently, and here's why it works differently. And it gives you the 40 milligrams that shows the ideal amount. So they're not skimping on the amount that your body actually needs, which they said was a problem earlier. And then here's the proof it works. International Journal of Medical Sciences showed it's to be this amount to be more effective, right? So what they're providing is even more effective. So after 3 months, they found that it's 3 times better results, right? So the UC2 group compared to only glucosamine, and the thing we talked about earlier is 3 times better. So, and here's another point of proof. So they're just hitting you with all this proof. And then look, notice how they keep hitting you with these trademarks, right? I think it's insinuating like this is why this is unique, right? I mean, legally they also have to trademark things, but Apris Flex to protect against the enzyme attack. So that's the other problem, right? The second part, right? Is able to uniquely target and inhibit the collagen degrading enzymes MP3 and 5-LOX that otherwise lead to even more rapid collagen and cartilage deterioration. So it targets those mean enzymes. That means it helps protect against collagen degradation, in case that wasn't clear enough. Reducing those activity-related joint flare-ups. So, and connecting it to the personal side of it, the lifestyle side of it, right? And how it solves that, right? So after each serving gives you 100 milligrams of this highly effective ingredient of this Apris Flex. And then here's the proof, studies again. And then here you go. It will affect as little as 5 days. So fast solution or fast results, which is what everyone wants, right? 70% reduction in joint discomfort. Heil joint to lubricate and stop the dry out, just like the Tin Man needed for his joints. So this is the last part, right? It's like an oil change for your creaky joints. And it goes into the science once again. With each serving, your body gets a full 40 milligrams of this natural lubricant whose effectiveness has been tested in over everything they're claiming. They're just giving you proof for. Remember that. You have to do that, especially in this niche, right? Found that, and here you go again. They keep saying everything of the 3-point problem, they have their solution, and they're providing proof that it works. For every point of the problem that it fixes, here's why it works. Case studies, and you'll see here shortly social proof and science. So hyal joint has been shown to be 5 times more powerful and effective than other forms of hyaluronic acid. So I said value prop, but it's like comparison, right? That's the proposition. It's comparing, it's juxtaposing itself to other things, and it's shown to be 5 times more. I mean, that's a very common marketing thing, right? It's 5 times more. But that's what they're doing here, right? So now, in addition to providing you these 3 essential ingredients, You don't have to worry about any of the risks. So that's probably an objection in their mind. Good copy addresses the objections as before the person even has it or as they're having it. It's like, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. That means you've done your research and you know who you're talking to. That's why it's really important to get targeted with who you're speaking with. So that's because joint 33X is non-GMO and free of anything artificial and harmful. All the ingredients are independently tested for purity, potency, and safety. Plus, unlike those big bulky pills so common amongst inferior joint supplements, it comes in a small, easy to swallow capsule. All you need to do is take one of these. But let's be real. The real reason you're going to love this is because here you go again, extending to that lifestyle, to the personal. Be the key to freedom. It can be the key to freedom from that personal prison that joint flare-ups cause you to live in. For example, remember those people I talked about earlier? And here you go. Now you got, look, she suffered from serious emotional issues, not being able to run. Meanwhile, the guy felt like an old grandpa, you know. Meanwhile, other patients might have struggled to use their hands to work their smartphones. They've worked when doing simple yard work around the house, or sorry, they've hurt, right? Doing things they love like tennis or golf because the discomfort is too much. So now Stephanie's saying, I was free again. Now I can run like the wind. That's funny. And as soon you'll experience it yourself. So it's saying you're gonna want this. So you don't need to suffer. You don't need to suffer. Going back to those pain points, right? You don't need to suffer. You don't need to go out and your relationships, sleep, weight, everything. You don't need to be in pain. The key is to take the right action. So here you go. The social, we're closing it up now. There's the close, right? So going towards here. I mean, there's a lot of freaking options, right? But when it comes to the close, again, it's not one-to-one. So here you go. And now is all the social proof. The reviews, very simple. And now you have, a little discount and you get free shipping, trying to push you off the fence. But here, and you get a bonus, 11 foods for superior joints. It's adjacent to the product, so it's gonna like help the product, a bonus to the product, which subtly says this is gonna work even better now. You're gonna do other things in your life that's gonna help your joints as well. Right? Yeah, so it's all gonna be one uppercut, super punch of health and joint healing. Weird analogy or weird metaphor, but you know what I mean. So yes, your joint comes with BioTrust naturally honest 60-day total satisfaction or your money back guarantee. So you can return even empty bottles for a fast and friendly refund of the full purchase price. So I mean, you might as well try it, right? Really pushing you off the fence, pushing those stragglers off. Like if you have this problem, you've read through this, and now they're like, there's no risk. It's like, why not? I have nothing to lose. You don't have to worry about leaving your home because we'll rush ship it. Industry leading sanitized shipping practices. Wonder if this was after COVID. As a medical doctor, I've seen that by far the most effective supplement you can take today. So, authority to help those Tin Man joints is joint 33X. Quote, Tin Man joints. I like that. But understanding, I like how they keep bringing it up over and over again. You know, they're just really hammering that pain point. And they kind of cycled through from the lead to the solution, right? But in between, they said they had their lead, and then they had the problem, right? The big problem that the person reading this is facing, or these people are facing, Stephanie and Sean, and how you can relate to them. And then they point out the things that aren't working and what the actual problem is and how you need to solve it and how their thing has the solution to the problem. And then they connected it back to the problem, the initial problem, right? Or the pain points. I keep saying problem, but pain points, the problem, whatever word you want to use. And they're saying you don't have to live like that. You can just take action. So it's like almost cyclical, right? Towards the end of the sales letter, you're just summarizing what you said all the way through, right? Because some people won't even read the whole thing. So, yeah. So by understanding the three essential ingredients in joint 33X that restore, protect, and lubricate your joints, you now know why the fast-acting joint 33X that comes in a tiny, easy-to-swallow capsules top recommended too. Therefore, get it for 51% off and get your free bonus to your mobility and freedom to enjoy life. Sign off. And there you go. This is the longest video so far. Damn, 30 minutes. I mean, a full-on sales letter. Goddamn. 30-minute video for the last day. Hey, thank you all. This was an experience, to say the least. There were some ups. There were some downs. There were a lot of ups and a lot of downs. Honestly, there were a lot of moments where I was like, I was just making these videos so late, and in just in the evening, missing sleep, all that kind of stuff. I'll talk about it in another video, but overall, it was an amazing experience, and I've learned a lot. So I will talk about it soon. But thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Hit me up if you have any questions. Comment here, message me, and talk soon.